The Entertainment and Sports Programming Network has issued a new set of guidelines for its on-air talent and all its other employees for speaking out on political matters. ESPN announced that for those that contribute commentary, they should refrain from overt partisanship. And anyone who contributes, quote, hard news reporting should refrain in any public-facing forum from taking positions on political or social issues, candidates, or office holders. Presumably, that means their Facebook and Twitter accounts, too. Now, many see ESPN as having a left-wing bias, willing to fire conservatives like Shillue for engaging in political talk on social media while not holding liberals to the same standard. But why does ESPN have to issue such guidelines at all? Perhaps it's because they sense the political fatigue that's setting in this country. As smart dude Ben Domenech wrote in a recent op-ed in the New York Times, from television to comedy to sports, politics surrounds and engulfs us, leaving us no space to gather as citizens without giving a thought to it. He's right. It used to be that public figures were expected to stay out of politics. Now they're vilified by progressives for not weighing in on every social and political issue of the day. In other words, if you're not with them, you're against them. Can you imagine if a Republican ever said that? Jill, are you tired of politics in everything?
Yeah, I am, and I don't have a problem with this. I think it's a good idea for a network to make it clear when they're just reporting news, or if they have someone who's a commentator, try to make it clear this is a commentator. This show should have an opening, like, here's a bunch of jokesters joking aravund, take everything we say with a grain of salt.
Yes.
And other shows like Shepard Smith, he's reporting news, and I don't want people to mix that up with this show, heaven forbid.
Is that why Red Eye is going off the air? Because we don't have a disclaimer saying take this show with a grain of salt?
I could have saved the show if you just asked me this question like a week ago.
Sam, I agree with Jill in that I think ESPN, they're smart to do this because I think it's signaling that they're thinking, you know, maybe we ought to get out of this and just go back to sports. Is that what they're saying?
Well, first of all, I'm not a jokester, and everything that I say should be taken literally and with zero salt whatsoever.
Zero salt.
What about a little dash of pepper?
I'm a reporter, if nothing else. But yeah, of course ESPN should not talk about politics. It should just, it's a sports network. It should talk about sports. Like, people do sports because they can't do other stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're really good at sports because they spend all their time at sports. Like that, I don't need a guy who's sitting there watching Jets games all day to be like, oh, and also I turned on a news channel and here's what I think about that. It's the only person that I want political opinion from is Charles Barkley.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, because he's an incredible broadcaster and he's right about the women of San Antonio. But
that's true. Hey, is wrestling affected by this political thing?
WWE is the greatest. They don't ever mention anything about any election. Donald Trump's in the WWE Hall of Fame. Linda McMahon is part of the cabinet.
Yeah.
They still don't mention anything. Yeah. Anything about politics.
They were a tad politically incorrect in the 80s, if you look back.
You think
they may be trying to stay away from that.
No, not that. Maybe. It's TV. It's fun.
But is it, I mean, I think it is. And look, we're on a show that discusses politics, so we like keeping this conversation going. But even I tire of it. It's not just the award shows, it's everything. Like Ben Domenech was saying in his column, sitcoms, you know, dramas. You know, you try to watch an hour-long drama and they bash you with a political message.
Yeah, it's so kind of baked into everything that I don't know if you can pull it out. But specifically with sports, I mean, I've been kind of disturbed by, like, you know, like the Defense Department giving money to the NFL so that they'll kind of promote this, like, militaristic kind of, you know, mindset. And there's a lot of weird things with that. I also think it's very strange that, like, in the NFL, which is, like, a completely male league, mostly male fans, they all have to wear pink shoes to support some, like, women's message. Like the men can't have anything that's just for them.
There's nothing wrong with wearing pink shoes every now and then.
I hesitate. Here's my problem with it. No, look, I'm fine with it, but why can't we deal with a man's disease during man-time football? I don't know. Look, I just think when they say we want to remove all politics, what that usually ends up meaning is we all accept just the left-wing narrative. Exactly. And so I'm a little bit concerned about that. I'd like to, like you said, I like people to be able to speak up, and maybe it shouldn't just be partisanship, but maybe there's not just two options. I'd like someone with radical views to speak up more.
It becomes left and right. It becomes you know, everything is Democrat and Republican, right, John?
I think that, you know, I think that Donald Trump is hideously unfit for the presidency. However, I think that many people think that to say that is to diss Republicans, which it isn't. Donald Trump is sui generis. And so I think that we do need to discuss politics more now than we would have in, say, 2007.
No, with those epithets,
we need
sui generis.
We need sui like a pig being called.
I
yes,
get it.
I said it. The idea is that we need to talk about what our political alignments are. And doing that cannot be discussing various shades of the left.
Got it. Don't go after the
right.
He's saying stop going after Trump's supporters. You lousy bums.
That is what I mean.